a tree of genealogy here, let me tell you. We're talking House of the Valleys here, we're talking the old Klondike, we're talking the melting pot from years ago when the industry was heavy and the iron was here first of all, and then the coal came along too. People came from all over. Now then, it's Tredegar is the place, Roy Noble here. You're very welcome indeed as company. If you're anywhere near Tredegar and you don't call in, we'll find it amiss actually. A beautiful day, but very, very fresh is the wind. And let me say now, we mentioned Nye Bevan already. When Nye Bevan was the MP for Tredegar and founded the NHS, I wonder if he ever thought that 60 years on it would still be, well, alive and with us. Free health care for all from the cradle to the grave was Nye's ideal, and you may be interested to know that for inspiration he turned to the work of an organisation called Tredegar Medical Aid. Now with us is Brian Kember, who is director of the Tredegar Development Trust. Brian, many thanks for coming along.
Thank you, Roy.
Yeah, well, and that's right what I said now, isn't it?
That's right, yes.
You based it on that, didn't you?
Yes.
The whole nation was based on Tredegar.
Well, in fact, one of his quotes was that he was going to Tredegarise the nation.
Well, there we are. There we are. Well, when was Tredegar Medical Aid founded? We come back to the 19th century.
We go back to the 19th century. It was actually founded in 1890, but there were some smaller schemes in existence before that.
Yeah.
There was one about 1813 called the Bunch of Fives.
Bunch of Fives?
Yeah. It was based on 5 houses in Lower Coronation Street, and people paid to have some medical care.
So 5 houses now. What was the name of the street?
Coronation Street.
Coronation Street, aptly named. 5 houses there got together and paid in to have medical cover.
Yeah, the Doctors' Fund.
Good grief. And it all started from there, the British National Health Service.
It seems to link in from there into some other benevolent funds in Tredegar, and they were all amalgamated in 1890 to form the Tredegar Medical Aid and Sick Relief Fund.
Are these 5 houses still there?
I don't think so. I think they were knocked down.
There should be a plaque on that.
70s, yeah.
Good grief. I was just thinking of that now. We were talking about the associate with that, but in terms of family members as well, you know, some of the ordinary diseases like measles and mumps were potentially fatal, weren't they?
Yeah, very much so. Measles, mumps, chicken pox, things that we take as minor ailments today were killer diseases.
Yeah, good.
We also had things like typhoid, tuberculosis, and of course cholera.
Yes.
And Tredegar has one of the longest surviving cholera cemeteries.
That's right, one in Merthyr as well.
Yes.
Yeah, quite a few along the heads of the alley area, isn't there?
That's right.
We have some traffic passing here, isn't there? What about Tredegar Cottage Hospital then?
Well, Tredegar Cottage Hospital came out of an idea from the Medical Aid Society. They had a public meeting in 1901, and from that the hospital was set up on a similar basis to the Medical Aid Society, with subscriptions from local companies, from local residents, and much of the steering committee on the hospital was the steering committee on the Medical Aid Society. They're the same members, and Bevan was a member of both.
Right.
And of course you had Walter Conway, who was the auditor to the Cottage Hospital, but is also a member of the Medical Aid Society.
Yeah. And going back to the medical aid now, the building where it was set up, it still exists today?
It still exists on the corner of the circle opposite the library, number 10, the circle. It's occupied today as by the community's first core team who support the community organisations in Tredegar.
Yeah. And
it also has based there a project called Feeling Good, which is about helping to prevent ill health amongst people, tackling obesity and and of course that goes back to the principles of the Medical Aid Society about getting people to be responsible for their health, but also bringing in early prevention so that they can be cured and not face the long-term treatments that are so expensive today.
That's right. John, if I can bring you in as well. There's the old saying, isn't there, who lives just north of Abergavenny. You're very welcome.
Thank you very much, Roy.
And living on a farm.
Yes, indeed, on a farm on the slopes of the Skirrid, which is called the Holy Mountain.
Yes, it is. And I bet you can see all the other fine mountains in that area.
You can, yes. Great 360-degree views. You can see the Sugarloaf. Thank you very much, Roy. Well, I've been taking the opportunity to fill a gap in my knowledge and learn a bit about the history of Tredegar. The other day I went to the Kevin Golai Cemetery. This is just to the west of here, a spot even windier than here, where sheep and horses roam, and it's a place with a vivid history. I read the epitaphs on some of the 24 gravestones still standing. I found one for Thomas James, dead at the age of 20. One night and day I bore great pain, to try for cure was all in vain. Another was for Margaret, wife of John. I couldn't read the surname. She died at 24. Her gravestone calls her a morning flower, cut down and withered in an hour. Thomas and Margaret died within weeks of one another in the late summer of 1849. That's a fair time ago, but I still felt in the presence of some powerful human emotions. This is the Cholera Cemetery that one of your guests mentioned earlier, a place of exile for unclean bodies banned by proclamation from normal graveyards. Evan Powell, in his History of Tredegar, describes cholera as the king of terrors. The disease, spread by contaminated water, could kill its victims in one day. Powell, in his newly reprinted history, captures the mood of despair during one of the 3 cholera epidemics to hit the town. Church numbers increased rapidly, he says. Chapels were full at every service. Suffering can be just pure and simple suffering, end of story. Or we can gradually move through the awful stuff and find new heart to build a positive story for ourselves or for our communities.
And, well, we have interesting people here. Good afternoon to you.
Hello.
What is your name?
Sonia Gould.
Sonia, you have a tale to tell, obviously.
Yes, I'd like to say that my son went to the West End and was in Cats, Jesus Christ Superstar and Starlight Express.
Right.
And the council paid for him to go to Guildford School of Acting for 3 years.
Did they?
Yes. So he lives in Bristol now, but he's still on the scene. He's in Poblecombe. And, but they helped him. He couldn't have gone without their help.
So you just want to thank the local council?
I think, they were good.
Yeah.
But I'm chairwoman of tenants and residents of Peacehaven.
Oh, I see, right.
And that's the end.
And he's doing very well now, isn't he?
It is. And we're trying very hard for a community hall.
Well, all the best of you. All the best of you.
Oh,
yeah. I bet he still brings the washing home, does he?
No, we can't.
Now then, next, it's very kind of you. Give us his regards and continued good luck to him. There we are. Now then, a lady I spoke to yesterday.
That's
right. The area now, there was a flag flying here, BBC Wales flag, so they know how to get on, let me tell you. Straight on the celebrations for Tredegar Comprehensive School. Well, here to tell us more is the school's head of art and design, that's Leanne Greenway, and with her 3 of her star pupils, may I say, star pupils, Beth Zarowski and Georgia Price, who are both 12 and 15-year-old Sophie Walters. I've got it all right, have I right?
Yes.
There, well done. Thanks for coming along. Leanne, how's school, all right?
Oh, it's fab.
It's fab?
Yeah. I'd like to say a big shout to everybody in school who's working hard.
Oh, there we are. They're there, are they?
Yeah, they're all working hard. Hello, all my colleagues and pupils.
It's a good place for artistic endeavours,
Oh,
isn't
it's amazing. Fantastic.
Because I read something in the paper the other day, it was kind of controversial this week, it was, in fact, that there wasn't enough art appreciation going on in schools. Did you read that?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's, well, we have very talented pupils at Tredegar Comp, and art is a really popular subject at GCSE and A-level, but our pupils are doing amazing work, as you see, and we've brought some work with us to show you today.
Yes, great. So tell us about the project on the clock now.
Well, we've been approached by the town council to produce a lasting ceramic mural which will go up in the town, in the walkway here in Tredegar. 150 of our pupils will each produce a ceramic tile made out of terracotta, and this will be put together almost like a jigsaw puzzle, and it'll make up the image of the town clock, and it'll have some sort of inscribed in it some quotes that are based on the town clock, and it's going to go up probably the week of June the 21st, which is the anniversary of the first day. So
I've often wondered about ceramic inserts, you know where you get them from, because the Romans were much into this, weren't they? I've often thought about this, smash a few pots up and use those bits.
We've been given the ceramic clay by a local company, Lafarge, so that's good that we've been given the clay to use, and it's going to be fired in a terracotta colour, so it's going up in the wall. It's going to look amazing.
Is it?
The pupils are really excited about producing it.
There we are. Where will you put it in the town now?
It's going in the walkway, which is just off the car park. Yeah, just through here.
That's right. It joins this sort of shopping precinct with the main street.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, there we are. Great. Is it big?
It's sort of 1.5 metres by a metre. So each pupil will have a tile. So we're trying to use a variety of pupils from year 7, 8, 9, 10, and 13, and they'll all be making their own little piece then. So that's going to be really good.
Oh yeah. Let's bring in the star pupils and then Georgia and Beth first of all.